this weekend, UFC Fight Night Vegas, number 3 from the Apex facility. They spent $100 million on that facility, giving us fights like this to make up for it. Now, cast iron Cortney Casey taking on Gillian Robertson. It's a really interesting fight, and a lot of people might be sleeping on this one just due to the fact that if you look at overall records, it doesn't tell the whole story because Cortney Casey's 9-7, just moved up to flyweight in her last fight, got a big win over Mara Romero Barella, just absolutely outclassed her in that one, getting the finish. Whereas Gillian Robertson, she's taken on some tough tests lately, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But in terms of the overall record, 7-4, and you might be sitting there scratching your head thinking, well, Gillian Robertson, I know her. You know, she's a Canadian from Niagara Falls. She trains an American Top Team. One of those two statements is true, and it's the Canadian part, not the American Top Team part. She's just recently left the gym, kind of going out on her own, training with the one and only Dean Thomas, who, again, was the guy that was very prevalent at American Top Team. But it's a move that I think will actually help her because we've seen this with certain fighters and very high-level fighters where they need that extra little bit of one-on-one attention where they might not get it with some of these super gyms. And we go on and on and on about American Top Team, and I'm sure we will in this video about how good they are, how many stars they have in the lower weight classes. Yoni and Jacek, Amanda Nunes, Amanda Hebus, 2 Amandas. Continuing, there's still a good amount of talent there. But it's just the fact that Gillian Robertson left that gym. You might wonder, well, how's that going to affect her in this fight? And the other X factor is the fact that Gillian Robertson has such a great and skillful ground game, whereas Cortney Casey's is, I would say, still developing. But we've seen it translate well at flyweight. What do you make of this matchup? And also, how much is Cortney Casey striking going to play a factor in this fight?
Oh, I think it's going to make all the difference. Just because Gillian Robertson, for as good of a wrestler, grappler that she is, her striking is not good in the least bit, especially defensively. Because when she gets hit, she doesn't really react to it all that well. I mean, we've talked about this before, how when a fighter's kind of near the end of their career, when you know that they should retire, they just kind of accept damage at a certain point, and they don't react to it all that well. Now, of course, you can say, well, no one likes getting hit in the face, but there is a big difference between someone who's in the fight constantly getting hit and reacting to it, and someone who's just kind of accepting damage at that point. And the Macy Barber fight really showed that to me, because Macy Barber, I know she hits hard, but every time she would hit Gillian Robertson, Robertson would just kind of cover up. And not like in the Justin Gaethje style where it's, okay, I'm going to cover up, wait, then unload, wait, unload. It was, I'm just going to eat shots. Now, her strength really plays into Cortney Casey's weakness because Cortney Casey's a great offensive grappler. She's the one going for the takedowns, and if she has top control, she can go, she's got really good back control. She can go for different chokes, arm bars, really anything. The problem is she's very complacent off of her back. I think we got to trademark this term. It's the Louis Smolka effect, where she can get taken down, lay on her back, and she's very confident in her jiu-jitsu. It's just not at the level yet where she can, actually lay on her back and attack offensively, like a Brian Ortega, for instance. So I think if she is just really lackadaisical, complacent off her back, and just kind of going for submissions, not being able to get them, Gillian Robertson's going to take up so much control time each and every round that it should win her every round. But the difference in the striking is so big that I don't really see a way for Gillian Robertson to win this fight. I know she's the favorite, and that makes no sense to me personally, but I just think Cortney Casey does so many things so much better than Gillian Robertson.
So Casey coming off the win over Mara Romero Barella, Gillian Robertson coming, of course, off that loss against Macy Barber, and it's been some time since we've seen her in the cage. Yeah, you mentioned it. If you look over at the odds, Robertson a -125 favorite. Courtney Casey hovering around a +100. If you look over on Tapology, out of 762 votes, a narrow margin picking Gillian Robertson to get the win, 53%. 57% predicting a decision win for Robertson. I'm going to go with the underdog here, Courtney Casey, and I think that's going to be a theme for this card. The odds are relatively close with the majority of the fights, and there's a lot of underdogs that have quite a bit of value on this one. I think Courtney Casey is one of those fighters. Do you agree with me here?
Oh, 100%. And just the last thing on Robertson leaving ATT, it's a good thing, but I also don't think it's a very good thing, too, because you have to think at ATT, you might not get as much one-on-one training with a coach, but the amount of training partners who you have to actually practice those skills with is off the charts. I mean, you mentioned just a handful of some of the names they have there. So she might be able to get more one-on-one time with Dean Thomas, who is a tremendous head coach. But is getting more one-on-one time with Dean Thomas better than getting coached by Mike Brown with a bunch of other really high-level martial artists that you can train with? So I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, and we are really going to find out this weekend. But no, Courtney Casey 100%.
Matt, both going with Courtney Casey. You're not going to want to miss the rest of our predictions for the card. We've got an extended look at Curtis Blaydes and Alexander Volkov. You're going to want to keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt. And as we always say, let's get into it.
Let's get it.